Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today I wanna explain about syntax. Syntax is basically the studies about sentence, about a relationship between words and the rule that form the sentence. Let's take one example. I'll say in front of the man class handsome is. I'm sure you can understand what I mean, right? But is it grammatically correct? Of course not. So syntax is about how we make a sentence grammatically correct or well-formed or grammatical well-formed sentence. And grammatically correct sentence is not always make sense. It didn't have to be make sense. For example, a noun hit the car with a rainbow. It is grammatically correct sentence, but is it make sense? No, right? Because there's no way a noun can hit a car with rainbow, like it's not make sense, but it is grammatically correct. Also, why this important? Because sentence that are not grammatically correct can change the meaning. For example, Taylor sees the rabbit is not the same with the rabbit sees Taylor. So it's really important. Then let's talk about clef contraction. It's about when you give emphasis into a certain thing. Or in other words, you can say you put a clef construction to make the sentence cooler. For example, from that word Taylor sees the rabbit, we can make it into it's the rabbit that Taylor sees. So it become a lot longer, and we emphasize the rabbit that Taylor sees. Then, why grammar is important? Grammar talk about structural patterns, about how language put morphemes together into word into constituent, and constituent into a sentence. And let's talk about constituent. Constituent is if we can substitute a word, something into one word. For example, the girl who I met yesterday, we can simplify it into she. The guy, we can simplify it into he, and something like that. Or constituent is also about different subgroups in sentence. There are 5 different constituents in English. The first one is noun phrase. The second one is verb phrase, adjective phrase, adverbial phrase, and preposition phrase. The first one is let's talk about one by one. The first one about noun phrase. Noun phrase is basically the phrase that has noun in it. For example, a big building. So it's noun phrase. Second one is verb phrase, is usually about when you have verb plus object in the constituent. For example, eat a breakfast, drink milk and something like that. And I forgot to inform before, but noun phrase usually also have the determiner in it, like the, a, this, my, and etc. Okay, back to the topic. The third one is adjective phrase. Adjective phrase is where where a phrase that has adjective in it. For example, extremely tall. Then the fourth is adverbial phrase. For example, because he would not do the bungee jump because of danger. So because of danger is the adverb. Or for a time like for 8 years, he haven't met her. So for 8 years, that's the adverbial phrase. And the last one is preposition phrase. Is when you use it for you show the position of something. For example, in front of the class, in the back, and etc. Then let's talk about recursion. That's when you can build structure inside other structure. For example, let's take our example from before. Taylor sees the rabbit. So we can make it into the girl who I met yesterday sees the rabbit. So the Taylor become the girl I met yesterday. I think that's all I can explain about syntax. I hope it can be helpful, and I'm sorry for any mistakes. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.